Hey everybody, Craig Deluz here on behalf of the Firearms Policy Coalition. I want to thank each and every one of you for participating and taking part in this virtual Second Amendment rally. As you can see, we're in the middle of a crisis. Matter of fact, we're in the middle of several crises, whether it's COVID-19 or whether it's the civil unrest and riots in our streets, or it's the economic downturn that's resulted from the first two. I mean, the fact is, folks, we're dealing with a lot of stuff, a lot of crises. And we all know that there are those who are in power who have, as one of their fundamental core beliefs, never to let a good crisis go to waste. People who want to utilize that crisis or those crises to undermine our fundamental rights. One of those, and one of the most important ones, the ones we're here to talk about today, is that right to keep and bear arms. See, back in the day, back when gun control was first started, it was always about keeping those people from owning firearms. Here in California in the 1870s, it was about making sure that the Native American couldn't purchase firearms or ammunition. And then in the 1920s, it was about making sure that Mexicans, we now call them Latinos, but Mexicans or Chinese were not able to purchase firearms or ammunition. And then in the 1960s, we banned open carry in the state, loaded open carry in the state of California in order to keep African Americans or the Black Panther Party from being able to defend their communities. The thing is, folks, it's always been about creating division, right? In order to make sure that we're protected from those people. But see, here's the thing. Today, those people are people who simply think differently, who have different political ideas or political ideologies or political values. Those are considered those people. They want us to be scared of each other. They want Republicans to be scared of Democrats and Democrats to be scared of Republicans, conservatives to be scared of liberals and liberals to be scared of conservatives. They want all of us to be scared of one another and say, well, those people are going to come after you with guns if we don't take them away. But what we don't realize is they're really coming after all of us. Now, a lot of people are waking up to this reality because when the pandemic first hit, millions of people decided that, maybe it's time I go and I exercise that whole, right to keep and bear arms thing. And they decided that they were going to go and buy a gun. And then they found out that their fundamental right was being infringed on. They found out that there were firearms that were safe and in common use that they weren't able to purchase. They found out in many cases that in some states that they weren't able to purchase a firearm without having a card approving you to be able to purchase a firearm. They found out that in some cases you're going to have to wait 10 days in order to be able to get that firearm that you need today in order to protect your home and protect your family. They found out that if they wanted to bear arms outside of their home, many places where there was the ability to do that, that ability was now going to be gone because they were no longer going to be approving concealed carry permits. See, there are those in power who are utilizing the crisis in order to take away fundamental rights. But as more people seek to exercise those rights, it's vitally important that we bring them into the fold, that we get away from this divide and that we seek to bring people together. I know we get tired of hearing this, but there has never been a more important election. There's never been a more important election because at stake here is the fundamental right to keep and bear arms. And I will promise you this, if we lose the right to keep and bear arms, it will not be the first of our rights that we will lose. Folks, it is vitally important that you do one thing. You vote your values. That when you get to the ballot box, that you take a look at who is going to stand for your individual liberty, for your right to keep and bear arms, for your ability to defend that liberty. And that's who we place in office. Whether at the top of the ticket or at the bottom of the ticket. I don't care if it's school board, if it's dog catcher, if it's city council, county board of supervisors. I don't care what it is. Wherever it is, you need to make sure that you are putting people in office who are going to stand for that fundamental right to keep and bear arms. That is at the core of our liberty. Our liberties are this very, it's this tapestry, right? And it's interesting because, we don't agree on everything. Matter of fact, most of us don't agree on anything, right? A lot of us don't agree. We all have something we disagree with people on. But folks, once we take away the fundamental right to be able to speak on that disagreement, to have discourse with one another, and then or to have address our government and seek redress from our government, once we lose that, and then we lose the fundamental right, the ability to be able to defend ourselves when that very same government becomes tyrannical. When we lose those things, when those things are gone, then what we are as a nation is gone. Then what we have as a people, this great experiment will be over. So folks, I just want to encourage you. Let's not focus on the things that we disagree on. Because here's the deal. On the things we disagree on, we'll go our separate ways and we will fight passionately for what we believe. And we'll fight passionately against each other. But on the things that we do agree on, fundamental liberty, freedom of speech, and the right to keep and bear arms, we need to stand together. Because see, it's in the 2A community where we are that America really is a melting pot, where we all can come together and say this: I believe in my fundamental right to keep and bear arms. That in the event that the government, whether it's your government or my government or those that we agree or disagree with, let's call it that, when they decide that they're going to become tyrannical, no matter who they are, then we have the ability to fulfill our fundamental right and our fundamental responsibility to throw off the chains of bondage from that tyrannical government. But that only happens if we continue to support that right. Anyway, folks, I want to thank you. I want to thank each and every one of you for being a part. God bless you, and remember, vote your values.